everyone. And we begin tonight with a closer look at a problem that many families struggle with in silence: what to do with used needles or other sharps. The World Health Organization estimates that some 16 billion injections are given every year worldwide, but unless needles and syringes are thrown away safely, it elevates the risks of injury and infection. News 5's Colette Bordelon has been looking into how to properly throw away these sharps.
From diabetics using needles for their insulin to those struggling with addiction, bringing in their syringes off the streets, there are several ways to make sure your medical waste ends up in the right place and doesn't hurt anyone along the way.
No bolus.
So it doesn't want you to.
Katie Bennett's in 4th grade.
It was very scary when I was diagnosed.
Around 3 years ago, she says she found out she has type 1 diabetes.
My first year, I was very shy. I didn't want to tell anyone about it.
Her first year, her mom says they used an insulin pen.
When I went back to school, I just wasn't very comfortable with the nurses doing it.
They say they switched to an insulin pump, and with both methods, there were tiny needles involved.
The pharmacies weren't taking them anymore, which was my first thought.
Her mom says they found out many of those tiny needles can be self-contained, but before they had been putting them in a sharps container.
Since they are self-contained inside there, you can just duct tape it up and then throw the whole thing in the trash can.
At the Southern Colorado Harm Reduction Association in Pueblo, they collect syringes from those struggling with addiction.
We get a lot of calls from folks in the community who are diabetics.
She says they would love to take sharps waste from the general community, but just can't afford it.
It's probably a third of my monthly budget.
Solano's sharps are taken to healthcare medical waste services in Colorado Springs.
We offer them those services at a reduced price because they are a nonprofit.
They have a process that treats the waste and makes it suitable for the landfill.
80% reduction in landfill use.
But they only partner with organizations or businesses, not individuals.
We had been putting them in the sharps container before we really realized we didn't need to.
Bennett says if she did have any sharps waste nowadays, she'd have to make some calls to figure out where to throw it away. If you do need to throw away sharps from personal use, first make sure they're in an appropriate container, and then the El Paso County Household Hazardous Waste Facility will accept it at no charge for El Paso and Teller County residents. There's also a medical sharps disposal program in Pueblo where people can take their medical waste for a fee. We'll have a link on our website to find sites close to you to drop off sharps. That's on KOAA.com. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. Colette Bordelon, News 5.